this?
Welcome to the Killer Comic Show.
Welcome to the Killer Comic Show.
Glow sticks. Should have glow sticks. Happy Thursday. Happy
Let's get
Thursday.
techno. How we doing?
Not so bad. Not so bad. Although I think we're both having some internet issues this evening, so this might not be a full HD face. You'll be glad to hear. And Charlie might pause every so often, so don't get alarmed. We're still here.
It's fine, I'm still, but happy Thursday, sir.
Indeed. Happy Thursday. It's the best day of the week, as far as I'm concerned.
It is the best
Welcome,
day.
one and all.
We are a man down. Tom is absolutely swamped under with work, so I'm not sure he's either a fireman or he's graphic design or he's not quite in job. He's got so many of them. I don't know what he's.
Well, he actually got called out this evening, Charlie. He sent me a message to say, yeah, he got called out, so he wouldn't have been here even if he was jumping on the show.
Oh, there we go. So he gets called out, and I'm stuck with you.
So stay safe, yeah. But I mean, you know, I'm like a second, even third prize, but you know,
win. But guys, it's Thursday. It's episode 2 of the Killer Comic Show season 3. The chat is absolutely buzzing already. We've got James from Comic Deal who was here at like 3 o'clock this afternoon saying, "One shall stand and one shall fall. Happy Thursday." We've got Comics and Pops all the way from across the pond. Team Nerd Herd, let's go. Thanks for checking in, sir. We have Comic Deal again. Maybe I do want to miss this one. Maybe this one will give me allergies. All allergies are good allergies because then you build up immunity and then we can just, you know, get used to it. We've been living in a bubble for the past 2 years, so we might as well. Why not?
A bubble.
Bubble. Yeah, Leon Russell, YouTube's Heisenberg. Evening, one and all. Good evening, sir. And we've got Phil's Nerdiverse. Cracking show last night. Thank you very much for the shout out. Always appreciated. You 3 guys over there are killing it. Not too sure. I didn't really understand that comment last night. I got well confused. The best thing I did enjoy though was seeing Thanos get smacked in the face as a baby. I'm not going to lie. I really enjoyed that. I did enjoy that. Who else have we got in here? We've got Triple G. Now then, what's occurring? This guy is constantly everywhere I look. YouTube, Instagram. I'm so interested to see what he's picking up, what he doesn't like, what he does like. It's amusing. And I still want to know what he picked up at Thingy's house. Al Ewing's house. He went round to Al Ewing's. I still want to know what's in his cupboard.
I think he's the only guy who maybe picks up more duplicate copies of comics than you do. And he does it on purpose.
Well, you can talk. You shared a post the other day and I think you picked up like 6 or 7
Don't ruin it. I've got to show those off. Don't ruin
it. We've got GP Venom. How are you doing, sir? Hope you are well. Hope everything is going okay. She's back. She's been missing for a few weeks, but Miss Connie Dalton is back.
You.
Hello there, darling. We have missed you. Thank you very much for checking in again. Fuzzy Dunlop, what's cracking, chaps? Not much. It's cold weather, so my lips might be cracking, so I'll get some Vaseline on there shortly.
Any excuse for Vaseline.
Charlie May pause, more stray dogs. Not this week, mate. Not this week. There's no stray dogs this week, but you know. Hobgoblin's Hideaway. Great little live unboxing he did the other day. I think he managed to get a 9.9. Did you see that?
I seen it. Wonder. I think it was.
Yeah, it was. It was amazing. What a great comic that was. And then I think he got like a 6 or something on a Joker. But yeah, it was all good. It was all good. You froze a bit there, mate. But as we mentioned at the start, we are in a few technical difficulties. But
I might need to like go on hold and like give my internet a kick shortly if that happens again. So apologies.
That's all right. This is the comment that I look forward to every single week from Comics versus the World. Evening, gents. You know the drill by now. I'll be catching up on the rewind tomorrow. Have a good night. It wouldn't be a Thursday night if Comics versus the World didn't post that comment every single week. But it's been a good week. So, Andy, what do you want to do this week? We can either do. How do you want to do? You can decide this week, mate. What would you like to do? We can go
I don't like making decisions. This gives me anxiety. I think we should go with pickups first.
Go on, then, mate. Off you go.
Oh, before we do pickups, actually.
Yep.
No, we agreed we were going to show off what our cover picks were, so that it would give the chat plenty of time to vote. So should we go with what our favourite covers are
for this week?
Yeah.
All right then, let's do it.
You remembered to play the intro. Yes.
That's only because you gave me the little push before and said,
a little nudge.
Little nudge, make sure you got to do it. I miss it every single week, honestly. And I have Tom at the end of the show going, you missed it again. I'm like, I'm so sorry, mate. I do apologise. Before we do get into this, Connie has said, I have been missing. Spent my last couple of Thursday nights getting up to no good. Back in Newcastle and I'm behaving myself low, so I'm back. Miss being here. We missed you here. I want to know what no good you was getting up to. That sounds interesting. But this is the Killer covers for January the 12th, which was yesterday. So up first, you know the drill by now. Up first, we've got Andrew. This is yours.
Let's start high. Let's start as we mean to go on, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hell Sonia issue number 1 by Rob Siki. I'm going to commit to that surname because I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce it. And apologies if it's been butchered. But this was the cover that caught my eye, and I think it's absolutely stunning. Look, everything about it is absolutely fantastic. It's from an artist that I'm actually not aware of, and actually done a bit of the old Googling just to find out what other stuff Rob had done. And you need to take a look at the back catalogue. It is phenomenal. Look at the eyes, look at the hair, look at the colour, the tones, the subject matter. Look at everything about this cover. It is absolutely beautiful. I think it'll be a bit of a sleeper cover as well. So you might find this is hard to pick up. This is obviously the Virgin variant cover. And I think this is like maybe a 1 in 30, I'm going to say. I could be completely wrong, but something in the back of my mind tells me it's some sort of incentive cover. But I think this is absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning. It's Hell Sonia issue number 1.
I've got to be honest with you, mate. I agree with you. You sent me it and I was like, this is a great cover. And I think, I don't know, I think you might nick it this week, mate, if I'm being honest.
Do you know, it's so funny because we send each other the covers. 9 times out of 10, we send them the covers in a private chat. And every so often, somebody will send a cover. It'll either be yourself, or it'll be Tom, or it'll be me. And you just go, I wish I'd have picked that one. But no, I was happy that I picked this one. But, you know, never say never. The chat decides. And there's another 2 good covers to come up.
There is. So this is your pick. This is a great cover. Up next, we've got Tom. Now, this is Rain issue number 1. This is Ben Harvey. This is the variant here. Do you know what? I actually really like this.
Yeah, I'm the same. Not only is it a fantastic comic, which is going to be my pick for next week to review, but this is I think there was maybe about 15, 16 covers for this that came out. But this Ben Harvey variant is fantastic, and I love the fact that it's like, you know, the background makes it absolutely pop, and obviously the subject matter. And once you read the comic as well, it gives you even more of an appreciation for the cover. So this was an absolute beauty, and this was Tom's pick, wasn't it?
Yeah, this was Tom's pick. And do you know what I like about this cover is that the fact that they've used the pop color behind the pink just to really stand out. But it does, it really. It's a great cover, to be fair. Like, I'm going to be honest, it was slim pickings this week, to be fair. I think we can all agree on that. There was hardly anything out there, which is why I kind of went for Rain number 1 as well. I went for the Hal Lauren variant because the graphics on this are just like, I've gone for this because I actually really like this cover. And I think the fact is that this is obviously going to tie into the story of what it's all about. But it's got to take something special to do raindrops as in glass shards like this and incorporate 3 or 4 different characters doing different emotions at different points of the comic in one picture.
Definitely. I think the positive sort of going for this is the fact that it's one of those covers that you could probably look at 3 or 4 times and see 3 or 4 different things. But again, I think the key to this cover is that you'll only get the real appreciation for it is once you've read the story, because it ties in absolutely brilliantly with the story.
Yeah, I think it's going to be close. It's going to be close this week. It was slim pickings, but there's always going to be a winner. It's either going to be me, Tom, or Andy. You know the drill by now, guys. I will drop that in the chat now. I've gone for, so what I've done, I've put it as Rain number 1 by Ben Harvey, and then I've put Rain number 1 by Howler End, so you can kind of pick what one you would like to do. And as you can see now, you've got Andy just jumping onto his second YouTube account to place all his votes. But yeah, it was pretty good cover. I think I ran away with it last week, didn't I, in the end? I think I did. That was my first one.
Yeah, but the least said about that, the better. Listen, it was a good start for you. I must admit, Charlie, it was a good start. I'll give you that.
It was. Here we go. Look, you've got panels and a half-pint superhero. Evening peeps, watching the match and working. Catch the rewind tomorrow. If you are a football fan and I'm an Arsenal fan, you will just find out that Xhaka has just been sent off for a stupid tackle. Sean sent me a message just laughing at me, so I'm not really talking to panels and a half-pint anyway. So, yeah, catch the rewind tomorrow, mate. That'd be lovely. So, anyway, up next, I think we're just going to jump straight into the comic review. Or do you want to do the pickups? It worked quite well last week, didn't it? Doing the reviews and then doing the pickups. But I think...
Yeah, let's do the reviews. Yeah, let's get stuck into some reviews, yeah.
Let's do the reviews then. So up first, we've got... So this week for week number 2, which is obviously the comics from last week, I went with Dark Knights of Steel, issue number 3. Andy went for Juni Bar's Monkey Meat, number 1. Tom went for Nocterra, the Blacktop Bill special, and then obviously the viewer's choice was Darkhold Omega issue number 1. I think I'm up first, and I've got to say I enjoyed this. I've been enjoying it. If you kind of want to find out a totally different look and view of what the DC superhero world would be like, if you was to drop it in like a Game of Thrones-esque kind of environment, this is it, man. This is what it would be like if you was to set DC superheroes in the medieval times. Like it's on issue 3 now. It's done by Tom Taylor. You've got 3 covers this week. You've got the main cover by Yasmine Putri. You've got cover B by the fantastic Joshua Mudatun, who is also writing Nightwing and is also doing Batman as well now. And then you've got cover C, which is the 1 in 25 cover variant, character variant, sorry. For me, I'm really enjoying this. I mean, I think you sent me a message the other night saying, well, hold on a minute. Are we kind of where we're at now? It's good. It's dropping things that you wouldn't expect it to be. I mean, so kind of like... Issue number 1 kind of told the story of like how it all came together. Like, so Batman is a knight of the realm. Superman is like the lord of the realm with like Jor-El and his mum and everything. They're kind of running things. And then we find out at the end of issue number 1 that Jor-El gets killed by an arrow. Issue number 2, we find out that it was sent by the Green Man. And then issue number 3 kind of tells the story, and we find out more that what is his name? Is it King Jefferson?
Jefferson. Yeah.
It is King Jefferson as kind of ordered the kill and carried it out and stuff. But then shit gets heavy, and it literally goes hell for leather there. We kind of find out that the way that Taylor is reimagining in the DC world in medieval times is continuing to impress me, if I'm being honest. I'm really, really impressed with how he's taken comic book characters, twisted it, and dropped it in medieval times. The story is impeccable. It seems like Tom Taylor has been able to do stuff now. He's kind of getting free reign of how he wants to portray all the characters and stuff. And issue number 3 left with a cliffhanger, and I'm kind of interested now. I'm invested in it. This is on my pull list. I've been picking it up. The artwork for me is quite good. Like it's not the best artwork, but it is enjoyable. The story's gripping, and it does engage you more. It invites you more. It's one of the best DC stories there is at the moment, if I'm being honest. And I think that's because I'm a massive Game of Thrones fan, and it's kind of touching into that. And I'm really
it definitely has that vibe, doesn't it?
I'm really, really interested in it, and I'm really enjoying it. And I've what else did I say? Yeah, I said for me, the main thing about it is that it's immersive. You can kind of get lost in it. There's only a few stories.
Have you watched, Charlie? Hold the bus.
I've made a few notes because I wanted to go in depth on this comic because I'm really, really enjoying this.
Okay.
but it is interesting to find out that now, like, Jor-El's dead, Superman's got a grudge against King Jefferson, then you've got the Amazonians getting involved. One of the biggest points of this was that we find out that Wonder Woman is a lesbian and that she is dating Supergirl, or as they call her in the comic, I think it's Zala Jor-El. So she's kind of dating her. News gets around that Jor-El, that her dad has been killed. And then it all goes kind of hell for leather there. She's on like a mission to find out who's killed her dad. And then we kind of see, the only way I can kind of put this together is that it is kind of Game of Thrones. There's different elements and there's different areas of trinities and organizations all coming together to kind of rule the medieval times. It's definitely something that ain't out there at the minute, and it's really, really enjoyable. For a DC story, other than Batman, it's really piquing my interest.
Well, whenever you picked the comic, I rolled my eyes. I'm not going to lie. I think you knew that I'd rolled my eyes because I never read issue number 2. After reading the first issue, we did review the first issue, and I think my points stay the same from issue number 1. I just think the whole environment that it's set in is pointless to the story, because you could take that away and you could take and set the story anywhere, and then you have to question what does that leave the comic at that point. It's just another story with all these characters in fancy outfits and cosplay. It's basically the characters that we know and love and appreciate in cosplay in a comic. Now, what I will say though is what I benefited from was reading issues number 2 and 3 in quick succession together, because the same as you, after issue 3, I kind of became invested in it and interested in it. If you completely forget that it's set in medieval times and just take it for the really good Tom Taylor story, then I think you'll really enjoy this. I love the artwork. I am a huge fan of Yasmine Putri as an artist. I think he's fantastic. So for me, I think, again, this is the beauty of this show, is that it kind of drags you back into comics that you might have not necessarily picked up, and this is certainly one that I wouldn't even looked at. So the fact that I got the opportunity to, I feel that I'll probably read issue 4, issue 5, because it's starting to get interesting, it's starting to pick up. But if you just completely forget that it's set in medieval times, because I think that's just a way to sell the book to people, because they think that they're getting something different. But at its essence, you're just getting another superhero story that's set in superhero time. But yeah, I must admit, whenever I read, I think it was issue 2, that Wonder Woman kisses Supergirl, and I thought, when these sorts of things happen in comics, there seems to be a big media surge and stuff like that, and not that there should be, but I hadn't heard nothing about this, so it came as a surprise to me that was in the story. And it'll be interesting to see how that relationship builds with Supergirl, because she's going kind of a crazy at the minute, killing folk and stuff like that, and kind of a living up to the reason why they don't like Superman, because he's seen as an alien. And he's got all these superpowers. So yeah, I guess you've got to trust what Tom Taylor is doing here. But I would recommend it, but I don't know if I would pick these issues up individually. This might be one to pick up when it comes out in trade, because I thought it was much better reading the story one after the other.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, like, it does move at quite a fast pace, and like it really doesn't hold back with like the character reveals, the deaths, and everything else. Like, I quite like that, because you think in DC they kind of just hold on to like killing off characters and stuff like that, and that's kind of what they do. In this, they don't really hold any, like, they don't pull any plugs, and that's what I kind of like about Tom Taylor.
Definitely, and there's not a lot of reading. There's not a lot of narrative in this book, so you can get through it really, really quickly. But yeah, no, I thought this was a killer. My favourite cover out of a lot of those is the Joshua Middleton one. I'm going to pick you up, Charlie. Joshua Middleton. It's Joshua Williamson that's doing Batman.
Right, isn't it? Yeah, it is. Sorry, my bad.
I get mixed up as well. It's always Joshua's, but no. And for anybody who likes the Joshua Middleton cover, go and take a look on League of Comic Geeks for all the other covers that Joshua's done. They are unbelievable. He's one of the artists that I actually try to pick up as often as I can, but some of his back catalogue is amazing. Again, the same as Yasmine Putri, another fantastic artist. So yeah, go and check this out. This for me was a killer, Charlie.
Yeah, same here. Definitely a killer. Definitely a killer for me. See, I got sucked in for the whole medieval thing. If I'm being honest, like I know at the end, if you take that away, it's basically again good versus evil, right? Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? But yeah, I'm a sucker. Like I hardly hate any comics. Like I'll read anything, and even if it's bad, I try to find things that is enjoyable with it. As you mentioned, a big selling point of this is the medieval thing.
Yeah, I thought the interesting part of the story is when they pull out the kryptonite, and because of the way Tom Taylor's got this story going, is that Batman's related to Superman.
Yeah.
They're brothers and stuff like that. That whenever the kryptonite came out, he obviously fell over and stuff like that. I thought that was kind of interesting as well. It's just to see how they're going to play that one out.
Yeah, and but yeah, it's going to be interesting because obviously that kryptonite just fell out of the sky, so obviously that's going to tie into issue number 4 and the cliffhanger that this one finished on.
So is the Joker going to appear? Is the Joker going to use kryptonite against Batman?
I'd love that, wouldn't you?
That would be pretty sweet.
It would be good, wouldn't it? But yeah, this is definitely a killer for me. It's always good to start the show off with a killer.
Yep.
Up next, oh my god, this mate, take it away,
guys. Juni Baz Monkey Meat is absolutely bonkers. Is the key word for it, but it's bonkers in a great way. It's bonkers in a fantastic way, and I'll start off. I'll start off with the artwork. So the artwork is like it kind of like melts your eyes and your brain when you're looking at it. It's kind of like Mignola on acid. Is kind of like where that's that's the only way that I can describe it. And it's quite a challenge to get used to the artwork at the start of the story, because you find yourself coming away from the narrative and actually concentrating on the panels to say what's actually going on here. What is that trying to depict? But then you tend to get used to it. And then by the end of this comic, you sort of think, well, this artwork completely matches the bonker narrative of the story, and it's a great fit. Obviously, it's the writer and the artwork is done by the same person. So where do we start with this one, Charlie? So this is all based around Monkey Meat Island. So this is like a monkey meat factory, and we follow this character. He's kind of like the caretaker of the island, called Luke. And effectively, this company, this monkey meat company, are harvesting souls from the natives to make an energy drink. Bear with me, guys. Stay with me. I'm not like drunk at the minute, okay? But there's an underlying story and all the badness, and this is what I thought was absolutely fantastic about this. This is basically talking about corporations and capitalism. That's what the book is based on, and they've used this particular comic and the sort of wacky narrative of it to basically call out capitalism and the big corporations. So they and also like country, or they're basically saying that companies go into all these different countries and colonize them. So they use up all the workforce and just use them till their death. And this is kind of the point that the writer is trying to get across with this book. So don't be like alarmed by the artwork. Don't be alarmed by the sort of wacky backstory and the narrative, because there is a basis to this story that's trying to get it through. And I think that's the beauty of all the books that kind of are quite high up on the killer comic list, is when it's got that sort of underlying story and it's trying to effectively teach you something. And I don't know about you, Charlie, but I came away from this wanting more and more. And I read it twice. It was that good.
Well, you're saying that, so obviously this is, as you've it's a meat packing company that have taken over this island, or they've turned an island into like a corporate field, and the whole subtleness of the symbolism and the capitalism that they put in the story, it's not overpowering. You don't look at it and think, oh, okay, I'm done with this. Like, stop trying to force feed me it. It's great. Like, and I did read it twice, twice, and I've got to say, the artwork is unique. Like, honestly, the artwork is, it's like, I'm just trying to picture it without, like, Juni Bar's done a fantastic thing here, don't get me wrong, but it is, the way that he's done the artwork, it's scratchy, it looks unfinished, it's all over the place, it's messy, but it works. It's an absolutely enjoyable comic. Honestly, it's erratic as hell.
Yeah.
It's erratic as hell. It's out there. It's all over the place, but it's a fun, enjoyable comic. Like, you find yourself looking, thinking, right, where am I reading next? It's wicked. So different and such a different contrast to what the other comics we chose for this week.
Yeah.
It was refreshing, and you know what? It's Image at its finest again.
Yeah. Something completely different. I think that's what it makes it stand out as well. Like this is basically just like a manifesto. I think, but this is obviously an anthology, so you can read each individual book on their own, and then it'll all kind of join up a little bit, like Ice Cream Man and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think obviously I don't know what's going to happen in the story, but it feels as if it's going to be like a manifesto against capitalization of the world and colonization of the world, and it's basically every issue. This issue just kind of smacked me in the face as soon as I started reading it. It was crazy.
Do you know what? It doesn't shy away from the grotesque features of like the battle scenes and the violence and stuff like that. It's done in a way where you find it comedic, and you're just like,
yeah, it's dark comedy. It's like really dark comedy. Yeah.
It is, and I read it twice. I went over it again because there's subtle advertisements, placements in the comics that you find yourself reading. And I also found another thing. So I'm going to I'm going to show you here right now. So basically, at the end of the comic, right, it says, if you want to share your thoughts, write to us at monkeymeatmail@gmail.com, and your mail room will be happy to get back to you. So I was reading this again last night. So I thought, right, I'm going to send an email. Right, so
of course you did.
So I sent an email, right? Let me have a look, right? So I sent an email. Wake up this morning, I get a reply from Juni Bar, right? My email said, "Hi there, I recently read Monkey Meat issue #1, and it sounds like the exact organisation I would like to be part of. If there are any vacancies going, I would be very much interested. I would be looking for a reasonable salary on a per annum basis and can start immediately. I look forward to hearing from you." Because it says here, avoid any controversial terms like salary or payment. We wouldn't want to radicalise the staff. So I think, all right, I'll just send it. It's probably going to bounce back and say this email address isn't. Hi, Charlie. Juni Bar here. Thanks a lot for your proposal. We will definitely be taking it into consideration. Would it be okay if we published your email in our fan mail column? Yours sincerely, Juni Bar. So do you know what? It's little things like that that just tie into this absolutely craziness world of a comic called Monkey Meat.
Yeah, it's and I think that like that's kind of a typical of the comic itself, is that they're actually responding to these emails that people are sending to them and stuff like that. And I think this is going to be a sleeper book. I really do. I think a lot of people will have just passed this by and wouldn't be interested in it. And I would strongly suggest that if you get the chance, is to go and pick this book up. You won't be disappointed. And if you're anything like myself, and from what I'm hearing Charlie saying, I cannot wait to read issue #2 and just to see where this madness goes.
Well, we've got ABZ Comics. Thanks for joining us, sir. Thank you very much. And we've got Adam Hills, 2009, saying, what's happening in that cover? All I can assume is that they basically put capitalism in the form of monkey meat into a tin.
Yeah, so the basically the monkey is kind of a like spewing, cracking the can open, and what's coming out of that is factories and capitalizations taking over islands, effectively.
There we go. Look, everyone is rushing to send an email now. So it's it's just little things like that they're taking time.
And if I tell you what, see if you do send an email, tell them the Killer Comics Show sent you.
Tell them that. Mark Oldroyd. Charlie, expect to see your soul in a can of energy drink sometime soon. Do you know, I think I sold my soul to the devil long ago. When I started doing this show with Tom and Andy, I sold my soul. But for me, 100%, this is nothing less than a killer.
I tell listen, I'm not going to lie. This we have a little gold emblem that we sometimes put up. This was very, very close for me, very close to being one of those books. if you're emailing Juni Bar, I want some merch. I want some Monkey Meat merch. I want t-shirts, hoodies, absolutely everything, drinks bottles, the whole lot, because I think that this is a sleeper book that everybody should
It's
read.
something so different, and it's literally so out there, so crazy. The artwork's so scratchy. It's so erratic that you will find yourself reading it again and enjoying it over and over again.
Yeah,
Because whatever we're experiencing and whatever we're telling you about, there's so much more to it.
100%.
So definitely pick this up. 100% killer.
100% killer for me. 100%.
There we go. Should we have a quick look at the? Let's have a look at. I think you're running away with it this week, mate, and well deserved as well. We've got in third place. We've got My Rain, issue number 1 by Hal Lauren with 18%. We've got Tom's by Ben Harvey at 27%, and absolutely running away, Usain Bolt in it. We've got the Hell Sonia issue number 1 with the Rob Sikic.
Just Rob to his friends.
Just Rob to his friend. 55%, absolutely killing it. So yeah, so 2 killers, all good here, all good. Up next is Tom's pick. So this is obviously the fantastic Nocterra. It took a hiatus, I think, of about 8 weeks. I think it's been so far 8 or 9 weeks. Nocterra Blacktop Bill special issue number 1, written by Scott Snyder, and the art and cover art by Tony S. Daniel. This came out last week, so the 5th of January. We've got 4 covers. We've got the main cover by Tom, as I like to call him, Tom S. Daniel. We've got the Tony S. Daniel Blackout variant. I got this one from Forbidden Planet. I bought it when it first came out. I'll probably receive it next year. It says it's been dispatched, but I'll look forward to receiving that next year. We've got the
plastic
Yoshi.
bag.
Exactly, in a plastic bag, rolled up, like Jock likes his comments, rolled up, shoved in the postman's back pocket and put through my letterbox. We've got the Yosef Schmalke Toss Comics exclusive, and then we have the Alan Quay exclusive coloured variant. This, for me, was for a one-shot. If you want to try and get across a sadistic backstory of a killer, this is the way you do it. This, for me, we don't really know much about Blacktop Bill. Let's be honest. The Nocterra story, we haven't really found out about it. I'm really warming to him. I'm really liking him as a character. And it's a really interesting one shot. The art is, as expected, it's the same as if you've been reading Nocterra, you expect it. The storyline is great. It kind of tells the way it's told is I think it's the dad telling his children about what happened and how it all became, how it all started and how Blacktop Bill got his name and stuff like that. I, for one, really enjoyed this, and I would like to see this not just be a one shot. I'd like to see this continue, because I'd like to see how Bill progresses as a character. I want to learn more about him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I really, really enjoyed it, and I think Nocterra, has this already been like signed up for a TV show?
Yeah, it's been optioned. Yeah, it's been optioned like before it even came out, I think.
Blacktop Bill is going to be a big ass character, man. He's going to be wicked. He's going to be like the lovable rogue, the lovable villain. I can see it. And in this comic, after reading this, I really felt like that. I really enjoyed this more than I thought I was going to. I thought this was just going to be a segue into until we get like Nocterra issue number 7 or issue number 8, whatever's coming out next. But this was really enjoyable. I really, really did like it.
I think as a one shot, it was great. I think it was a great one shot. I think it's likely to entice a lot of sort of people to go and pick up Nocterra if they haven't already read it. I think that the beauty of Blacktop Bill is the mystery. And I think the less we know about Blacktop Bill, the better for me personally. I think it kind of takes some of this book takes some of that mystery away, but it doesn't actually do much with it. For me personally, I think that if you took the sum of this book, it could easily just be do you know when you get books where you have a backup story? This could be effectively a backup story split into the first 6 issues of Nocterra. But they've decided obviously to do a one shot because they've had a little bit of a sort of hiatus between the issues and the arcs. So for me, I think any Nocterra fan's going to absolutely love this book. I think they're going to eat it up, and they're going to be wanting more. But for me, it didn't really tell me anything more than what I already knew and what I already assumed. And I think that's the beauty of this character. The less you know, the more mystery, the more you make up in your mind. And that's always going to be a lot worse than what Scott Snyder can put on a page for me.
I found it quite, because obviously we're coming into the second arc of Nocterra now. So, and I think Scott Snyder's been pretty clever that he's kind of done this, because at the end of the first arc, we kind of got to see Blacktop Bill in like one of the covers that Alan Quay's done now. It's kind of, that's what we got to see of him, and we get to learn more about him. I think they're kind of refreshing it now, because I think in the second arc he's going to be more menacing. It's going to be more focused on him, and we're going to find out more about it. But I think this was very tense, and it's not really a horror comic, but it was quite thrilling to find out more about him, and how it was told I thought was quite good. Like the father telling his child a bedtime story about bloody Blacktop Bill.
That was the beauty of Scott Snyder's writing as well, because whenever you started the book, you assumed, at least I did, that it was the father who was Blacktop Bill, and it was him we were talking about, because he goes into this, secret cupboard, and then when he goes into the secret cupboard, you think, oh, what's going to happen? This is obviously Blacktop Bill that we're looking at, but it's not actually. It's Blacktop Bill that actually kills him. And you see Blacktop Bill, and that's kind of where it starts. So I thought again, Snyder's writing was perfect on this. He obviously he loves this character, he loves Nocterra, and I thought that was really smart. There was lots of little smart hooks throughout the book, and that's why it made it a really good one shot for me.
Connie hasn't read Nocterra at all.
You'll enjoy it.
You are so in the dark with this one, Connie.
Literally,
literally in the dark. You need to pick up the trade paperback and read it, because I think it was a bit of a sleeper comic, and then as soon as it came out that it had been like signed up for a TV show, it started flying off the shelves. But it's a good read. It really is. And again, it's Image Comics. It's not DC. It's not Marvel. It's Image Comics doing what they do best, putting out quality content that goes under the radar, unless it's something like this. This is great, and I think coming into the second arc now, I think it's going to be even better. This is a killer for me. I'm invested in Blacktop Bill as a character now, more so than I thought I would be.
I think as a one shot, it's definitely a killer for me, and it will definitely do its job. It will make people go and read Nocterra to find out who this mad character is, and that should set them up for the second arc. So yeah, killer for me as well.
I'm sure Alan at Coffee and Heroes should have a trade paperback.
Oh, he definitely should, yeah.
I'm sure he will. Yeah, this is a killer for me. And so that's 3 killers. We're doing pretty well. We are doing pretty well with the killers this week. So nice one for picking that, Tom. I don't know what Tom thought about this comic. I'm assuming that he really enjoyed it, or he hated it.
I think he was really looking forward to it. He's a big Nocterra fan. So yeah, I would imagine he's only got good things to say about it.
But yeah, Blacktop Bill wouldn't, for me, he wouldn't go missing in a Batman comic. Like, he would be a good villain for Batman.
Well, he's kind of playing off those sort of Joker vibes, isn't he? He's like, even if you look at that Alan Quay cover, that's got Batman vibes. All the Joker, not the Joker, the Jock cover of Batman, with all his armor and stuff like that. Like that screams to me. That's what that looks like. So obviously Scott Snyder's taking these Batman vibes and putting it into these characters. But yeah, I mean, this, as you say, this could be a standalone. He could be the main character. But for me, I don't want another one shot telling me about his backstory or little things about him. Mystery. It's the same with the Joker. I don't want to know everything about him and his backstory. I just want to keep that as unknown, because it makes it scarier.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's a menace, he's a killer, he's a villain, and he's going to be featured so much more in arc number 2. So I'm very much looking forward to that. So great pick there, Tom. Last but not least, we have the viewer's choice, which was a Marvel comic. This was Darkhold Omega issue number 1. We've got the main cover by Chris Bachalo. We've got the Gary Frank spoiler variant. We've got the Scott Hepburn variant cover, and we have the 1 in 10 Cian Tormey design variant cover. Sir, what did you think of this?
Yeah, so this kind of wrapped up I believe there was loads of connecting one shots to this. and this it was meant to sort of bring it all together, and it was kind of a like one sort of final, battle, one showdown with Cathon, who is the antagonist in this book. The theory of that is excellent, and bringing all these characters back sounds great, but I don't think this book kind of executed it as well as it possibly could have. Little things kind of concern me about this book. First of all, like if you look at all the one shots that have made all those, like Spider-Man, you've got Black Bolt, Blade, Wasp, Iron Man, they've all become how would you say it? They're part of the Darkhold, so they've been they're like evil versions of themselves. But the evil versions that we see in the one shots haven't actually transitioned into this book. They're completely different characters.
And
they don't have the same traits. So I thought that was a bit weird. I thought, well, what was the point of all the previous storylines on it? It was kind of like each of these bad versions of like Spider-Man and Black Bolt were just kind of like crazy caricatures. Like it didn't seem as if they fitted in overall. I think if you're a Wanda fan, then this is definitely going to be a book that you want to pick up. I think that you'll really enjoy it. But for me, I just thought it was a bit lackluster. It was just utterly underwhelming for me. And compared to the other books, Monkey Me and the other two books that we've read, I just think for me this didn't actually hit the mark. And you could easily not read this and not feel as if you've missed out on anything. The only positive was probably the Chris Bacalo cover. I thought that was fantastic, and that's what caught my eye with this book and made me pick it up.
That's exactly what I mean. I read some of the tie-ins before this and stuff, and I didn't get. For me, this was kind of like a cheap Marvel Zombies. Like it just didn't. It had essences of Marvel Zombies in it, Deceased and stuff like that, and it kind of didn't work. I didn't kind of get why they had characters in one shots that became part of the Darkhold that had a total different MO to what they were doing in them one shots, and then they come into this and they're totally different characters. Like it didn't tie in at all. I didn't think it worked. That cover by Chris Bacalo is great, but that is nothing that doesn't feature. Like Scarlet Witch is the good guy in this. And as you said, if you're a Wanda fan, you're going to really enjoy this. And for me, the best part of this comic was the end, where you kind of see Wanda taking charge and it all kind of revolves around her. I really wanted something more from this comic. I really wanted Marvel to kind of get hold of it. There's been talk. I've been in comic shops. I think I was in Gosh Comics. And I think I was in like Forbidden Planet a few weeks ago, and they was talking about this. There was comic book fans in there, and also the comic book shop workers. I'm really looking forward to this. This is going to be good. It's going to be great. Is Moon Knight going to make an appearance? Is this, and that? There was so much hype behind this, but yet nothing. It didn't. For me, this was nothing. If this was to be a one shot, I'd be happy with that. I can't see how this is going to continue for probably 6 to 12 issues. I can't see that.
I think that the synopsis suggested that it was going to be a heart-pounding conclusion to everything that we'd read before. And I think, I want my money back if that's the case, because that certainly wasn't the case.
Honestly, like the covers that came out looked really good. Like them 1 in 10, like the design variant covers. If I'm into them, I'll pick them up. But I only picked up the main cover because I like the artwork on it. Yeah. The story's lackluster. It's neither here nor there. There's nothing like there's even the action scenes involving the characters it's nothing. It doesn't relate to anything. It's not a good story. If you're a Darkhold fan and you've been following it, then. But
I think the thing with this is and the worrying thing is that I think this will play a huge part going forward into the Marvel comic universe and what's going to happen in the future. Like we read Timeless, and it kind of gave you some sneak previews as to what's going to come up. And I think this will play heavy on it. So I think this will be one of the books and the one shots that preceded it that a lot of people will probably go back on and say, well, how did this happen? And what was, how did we get to this point? For me, this was a binner. I can't see any reason why you would want to pick it up, because I don't think you'll get anything from it. I think if you want to pick anything up, then pick the previous one-shots that told the story of like Spider-Man, Blade, and Iron Man when they become part of the Darkhold and become those evil versions of themselves. I thought that they were a lot better stories for me.
They were more enjoyable. Like these them one shots. I think there was like 4 or 5 of them. They were better than this main story arc. It's a shame, but it's Marvel again, and it just comes to show that the comics that we're shouting about and really enjoying ain't nothing to do with Marvel.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, this book. Well, I think this was my choice to put forward for pick of the week for the viewer's choice. So again, and it was totally based on the synopsis and that cover, and I feel cheated. I feel like I want a refund, Charlie. I want a refund. PayPal me.
But I mean, this is it. This is obviously the viewer's choice. So we pick two different. We pick another comic. We basically pick 2 comics every week, and then we drop it into YouTube, and then we get like the viewers to choose and stuff. If you guys in the chat, if there's any comics that from this week that you want us to review next week, let us know, because our opinion really does not matter. But if you want to sit here and listen to a Cockney, a Scot, and a fireman talk about comics and their points of opinion and everything, then drop it in the chat and let us know what comics you want. This does sound like a real snoozer, and I've got to be honest, Fuzzy mate, it is. You literally, unless you're into the cover artwork, there's not really much else going on. Marcus said that he read Timeless this week, best Marvel book I've read for ages. See, I've got to agree with him on that, because that was a one shot, but that was engaging. It was telling a story. It was laying a plot. It was laying something down to tie in.
Yeah.
Whereas this, there we go.
Yeah, better.
It was a place in space refunded me on my Timeless purchase, saying they had damages. Don't get me started on Place in Space. Just
was that ABZ? Was that the Miss Minutes Timeless variant, perchance? I would imagine it is, because it was going for $9.99, but it's going for a lot more than that at the minute on eBay. So that always happens. They always pull them.
What's up, Tony Fett, all the way from across the pond? Thank you for joining us, sir. Long time at no see. We've got Comic Deal asking us to review Usagi. All Usagi. Review Usagi.
All the Usagi.
All Usagi. Okay. Right. So yeah, it's I think we've just ended that. We had 3 killers, and this one was unfortunately this isn't even a binner. This is a skipper. This is a skip.
This is going to skip. This is a refunder. There should be a new
refunder right in the skip. But yeah, that was that. Let's have another quick check on the votes. I think you're running away with it. You're on 52% now. Tom is on 24, and I'm on 24 as well. So there's no catching you, but it's all tie for 2nd place. Now that's the comic reviews done. Shall we get into some comic pickups, some killer pickups? What have you got for us?
Let's do some pickups. You want me to go first? Yeah, I don't have many. So the first pickup is, so I watch a YouTube show by Ultra Maximus. So if you haven't watched Ultra Maximus, please go and do it. He has his own YouTube channel, which I'll try and get a link to and drop it in the chat. And he is probably the best, if one of the best speculators when it comes to comics and what characters are going to come up and what books to pick up. And if you are that way inclined, you can buy maybe 1 or 2 of them and flip them and make the hobby pay for itself. Not that I would condone that sort of thing, not at all. But speaking of that, with the new Thor movie due to come out, Love and Thunder, there was... and this is all on Ultra Maximus' channel, so go and check it out if you want more info. But there is a new suit that Thor is going to wear, and this is the suit, and this is what it's taken from. So this is the Mighty Thor issue number 378. So this is Thor in his battle armor, and you can see I picked up a couple of copies here, and I would highly recommend that you go and check out Ultra Maximus' channel. And just he's full of knowledge and he knows what he's talking about. And again, when it comes to these sort of things, it's like trust, isn't it? You don't want to be watching someone who's just pushing books to sell their own. And I fully trust what he says, and a lot of the stuff that he has said has come to fruition. So
that
would be
cover
my
again,
ranking.
Andy? I really like
Yeah,
that when you showed it on
it's
Instagram.
Mighty Thor 378.
That's great, that is.
378. Now, there's also another great cover with him with the battle armor on.
Mhm.
It's Mighty Thor 382, which I've also ordered as well. But yeah, this is the first time that he wears the battle armor, as far as I can remember.
Lovely.
So that's my first pickups. Next one is from Forbidden Planet, and this is the Batman One Dark Knight Jock exclusives covers. So this is the trade, and then this is the kind of a special one. This is the piece de resistance. So these were pretty expensive, these books. They came in this bag, which has been kind of a tailor made for these size of books, but didn't have any backing board or anything like that in it. So I'm just waiting to order up some bags and boards for magazines.
So I was in Forbidden Planet a couple of weeks ago, and they had quite a few of them, like them ones on the shelves, and they had the standard covers, and I think they had the Cliff Chang ones as well. They were in shocking condition. Like I'm talking about, they was in rough and ready. They were not looking good.
So I think I've picked up every cover. So I picked up the 3 normal covers. Two, cover A, cover B, the 1 in 25, and then these 2 specials. And then there's another 2 covers that's got the trainers on them, or the sneakers for our American viewers. But I didn't bother with those ones. But what I found is that obviously it's an all black cover, but the spine is really prone to get rubbing just down here. And what I've also found is at the top here, you can just see the colour doesn't actually bleed all the way up to the top, and there's white lines. So I fully was going to go and get mines, slabbed and stuff like that. But I'm actually not going to bother because none of them will come back in 9.8.
That was my next question. So.
No, I'm not going to bother. I'll probably keep an eye out for anybody who just gets it in a 9.8 and then sells it, because there's no point in taking the risk on that. But can I just say, One Dark Knight is phenomenal. It is, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a Jock fan. The artwork is flawless. Some of the splash pages are immense. The storyline is great, and it's a three issues that I think is going to really, really like blow up when it comes to the Batman sort of continuity. I think it's great.
Did you see Jock's studio tour he put on Instagram the other day?
Yeah.
My God, I was blown away. Like,
did you see his Mignola Batman statue that you can only get in the DC shop or whatever it was? It was
just wicked, and I watched it about 3 or 4 times. It was, imagine working in that environment, and they say like actors, they kind of get involved in what they're doing. Like Jock is Mr. Batman. Like Jock does Batman like no other. Do you know what I mean? He can draw it like that. But to be in that environment, it looks wicked. It looks so inviting that you just want to sit in there, and there's Batman of every colour, size, everything. It was wicked. If you ain't checked it out, head over to Instagram now and check out Jock's studio tour.
It's absolutely it's amazing. It's a perfect place to create, I think, is what I took from it. If you're going to be writing Batman stories, and you want to be surrounded by Batman. So yeah, but so I digress. I've got one more book, and this was an AOK, an act of kindness, from my good friend James, aka Comic Deal, and he gifted me this.
Oh, look at that.
So this is the Jock cover. This was a subscriber cover for Empire magazine. So you can't buy this retail. It's only people who actually subscribe, like James, to Empire magazine. And you can't just hop on and become a subscriber just to pick up this book. So if you weren't subscribing before this book was released, you weren't going to get it. So big thanks to James for sending that to me. This is a beaut.
That is, and I think Connor's just hit the nail on the head. That is the class cover of Empire. It is. It really, really is. Is that what you've got, sir?
That's it. Yeah, I mean, that's all I've got. It's quality over quantity.
Wait, do you know what? Oh yeah. Look, we've got a late arrival. We've got a scraggler. Hello, mate. How you doing, Darren? Thanks for joining.
There he is.
Thanks, sir. Oh, and we've got someone peeking from the bushes. It's Luke himself, Hydra Collectibles, out on a midnight walk. Welcome, sir. Thanks for joining, mate. Talking about Batman Dark Knight. So I got this. Obviously, it's just the main cover. Number one.
What was the sort of condition like in yours, and did it come
I
back
got these
embodied?
from Comic Biz. I got these from Comic Biz. After going to Forbidden Planet and seeing the state of them, they're not actually too bad though. Like, but you are right. Like on the spine of the book, I don't know if you can see it there, like there especially.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what was happening to mine.
But I mean, I just picked them up because the artwork is fantastic. I was going to get them graded, but now you've mentioned that, I don't think I'm going to. And then I also got this one as well.
Nice. Yeah, that's the Cian cover. Did you get the one in 25?
I'm not sure. I'll have to check. I think I did. I think I did.
Listen, the one in 25 is
that the blackout one?
That's the blackout one.
Yeah,
it looks so much better in real life than any photo can do it justice. And just as we're tweet speaking here, Charlie, sorry to interrupt. ABZ has just sent me his pickups. I'm going to send them on to you so you can show everybody. They are phenomenal. Wow. Oh my goodness.
And then so I got them too, and then I also got this as well.
Oh, you just picked that up, did you?
As you do. Like this for me, right? So I was after this comic, I was like, whoa. Like this was one of the best ones. This is obviously by Tyler Kirkham. But this for me is one of the best Venom 35 covers that there was. And it was just ridiculous. Oh, look at these guys.
Wow. Not a bad haul there at ABZ. And this is what I love. So if anybody else has any like major pickups and stuff like that, definitely drop us an email or stick the hashtag the Killer Comics Show on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, and we'll definitely show them off. We'll show them on the show. This is amazing. ABZ, you've got some absolutely fantastic. They're all looking great condition as well. Are you going to get any of them graded? They definitely look as if they're in fantastic condition.
Just like the table layout as well. He's gone all out there. He's put
the sunflowers as well. I mean, he's really putting us to shame, Charlie. To be honest with you, I mean, we just throw up some comics, but he's got his all laid out on the table.
He has, hasn't he? Yeah, nice one. Thanks for sending that in, there, Dizzy. But yeah, this for me, I had to pick this up. It's great. Like I think I'm probably this is the only one that I've got of the Venom 200, but I'm probably gonna. Yeah, I've got my eye on about another 3 or 4, so I'm probably going to pick them up as well.
You like your 9.8s, don't you, Charlie?
I do like my 9.8s, but I'm literally currently waiting for 4 CGCs and a CBCS to arrive. So
nice.
That would be interesting. But
I believe our CBCS is imminent.
Yes.
Tim has kindly facilitated that. If he's still in the chat, we're really looking forward. These are the books that we got signed at Thought Bubble last year. So really looking forward to seeing what we got. And I think I was saying to you, Charlie, I don't care what my grade is, honestly.
No, I really don't.
It doesn't matter. It's just a wee memory of Thought Bubble. So whatever happens.
So that's the killer pickups. We've got some pretty decent pickups there. ABZ, thanks for dropping that in there. You just kind of put me to shame now, mate. So I'm just going to go back to the corner and just sit there and listen to what else you've got. But Comic Deal, all you need is Darth sitting on top with Bobber beside him, welcoming Han and gang for a chinwag on Cloud City. You do. Why not? And then that is the seller's table, much more organised than me. I bet there are estate agents who stage flat sales. But yeah, some great pickups, mate. They are some great pickups. Now, talking about killer pickups and killer whatever, we've got. We've got killer keys for January the 19th. Now, obviously, this is Tom's section. He's away fighting fires and saving lives while we're sitting here pretending we actually do something important and talk about comics. But this is...
We'll try and do it justice. We'll try our best, though, Charlie, won't we? We'll try and do it justice.
We will. This is the killer keys for January 19th. Now, up first, we've got Nightwing 88, written by Tom Taylor, artwork by Bruno Redondo, available next week, Tuesday, January the 18th. Now, this is a key. I don't know if you've got anything to add to this, Andy, but this is obviously one key because it is the debut of the new Nightwing suit.
Yeah, at first I'd heard of it. To be honest with you, as I said, I got Tom to send me through some of the details as to why these were keys, because he's the man in the know. He is Mr. Keys, and this Nightwing run is one that I've not actually read,
Mhm.
but I know the likes of Phil Nerdiverse and a lot of the other guys absolutely rave over it, and they think it's
Mhm.
absolutely fantastic. Again, Tom Taylor, who does the Night Story that we read earlier. I think the trades just came out for this as well. So
Yeah,
I think it's something I'm going to.
Leaping into the Light is. I've picked it up. It's
Have you got it?
brilliant.
Yeah, have you read it?
Yeah, it's wicked. I'm halfway through it. It's
Yeah.
honestly, Nightwing is a character that I didn't really like that much until I started watching Titans on Netflix. If you ain't watched Titans yet, head over and watch it. It's the dark side of DC. It's wicked. It's so good.
And Nightwing has definitely been doing these squats.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I think in the first ever Peach of the Week, Nightwing was my Peach of the Week.
Yeah.
He's been doing
Yeah.
squats now. I can't imagine what he's been up to now. But yeah,
Peach of the week,
massive
RIP.
RIP Peach of the Week. But massive shout out to Tom Taylor on this. This is another good story that he's been doing. He's been actually killing it, and we're on issue 88. So
I think this will blow up this issue if it's the debut of the new suit. Specifically, what that suit will look like.
mhm. But I think it's really enjoyable. Like if you haven't read Nightwing yet, I would suggest getting on it because I think
It's on my list.
it's a really good story. Up next, we've got Marvel Strange Academy. It goes without saying, doesn't it? Strange Academy, issue number 15, written as always by Scotty Young, art by Humberto Ramos, January 19th. First appearance of Gaslamp. So obviously, Gaslamp is the one that's kind of
It's Gunslinger.
It
It's
is basically
Gunslinger.
it is Gunslinger, yeah. It's Gunslinger and cousin It.
Yeah.
It's the Gothic cousin It. This is the first appearance of Gaslamp. So obviously, Gaslamp is the one that's kind of infiltrating the students of Strange Academy. There's one student in particular that he kind of infiltrated and got his claws into at the end of issue number 14. Strange Academy can do no wrong. I've kind of picked up all the single issues. I've got the trade paperbacks as well, and I really like the fact that they come in little school book size. It's wicked.
I dropped off this at issue number 12, and I'm kind of regretting it now because I believe there's at least one or two issues since then, especially this one coming up, that are going to be considered keys and probably are going to be overinflated prices in the aftermarket. Would you suggest, Charlie, I jump back on it?
I'd suggest it's really enjoyable, mate. It really is enjoyable, and yeah, I'd definitely jump back on it. What have we had? Yeah, see, look, big fan of the trade Connie talking about Nightwing. We've got Phil's Nerdiverse. Nightwing is outstanding, going for the 1 in 25. Fingers crossed. Did I ever finish that Nightwing drawing? No, I'm literally halfway through it. But yeah, I should be literally, as you can see, down kind of like halfway through it there. Not literally drawing all the individual things here. So I'm getting there, but I will post that once I've finished it. It's taking time, but it's very enjoyable. Thank you to Comic Deal and to you, Mr. Perpetual, and Tom as well for kind of turning my head and getting back on with the drawing. Really enjoyable. So yeah, Strange Academy.
Let's create a comic, Charlie. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All four of us can create a comic.
Hasn't James just bought something that can create magic?
Oh yeah, some of James's color work is phenomenal. Go check out his IG, and he posts up a few things. He does like the process as well, so he does some of the black and white. I've sent him a couple of black and white sketches as well, and he's coloured them, and it brings out the picture so much better. It's absolutely pops.
Awesome. Then we have Venom number 4. Now I'm confused about. I don't know if you know a bit about this. So obviously Venom, the new arc, started with Ram V. And
Al
Ewing. It seems to just be Ram V now.
I'm not going to lie. I've only read issue number 1. I haven't read 2 or 3 yet.
Issue number 1 was done by Ram V and Al Ewing. Issue 2, 3, and now what it seems 4 is literally just done by Ram V. So I don't know if they're still doing a partnership. I don't know if Al Ewing is going to jump back on over issues 5 and 6. But I think this is only a 6-issue run. I'm not sure. I don't.
chat? Does anybody in the chat know?
If
I
anyone
have
in the chat
absolutely no
knows, that
idea.
would be,
Yeah.
I'd be interested. But obviously, this is Venom number 4, written by Ram V, art by Brian Hitch. This is the first appearance of Carson as Spearhead, and it's the debut of the new Venom emblem.
Oh, okay, cool.
Interesting. Yeah, Tim, the Strange Academy cover was very Bloodborne, Dark Souls in feel. I actually think you're quite right. Yeah, it is, you're quite right there. It very is. I think there's essences of Spawn as well in there.
Listen, it's Gunslinger. It's Gunslinger with a lamp.
But it's good. Though. It is good. But yeah, Venom number 4. I'm enjoying it. It's totally different to what Donny Cates done. It's Mr. Horror himself, Ram V. It's been enjoyable. I've liked it. If anyone in the chat has got anything to say about this or knows why Al Ewing, Triple G, if you're still there and you're having a coffee with Al Ewing in the next couple of weeks, and just ask him what's happening, and just let us know. But yeah, this is the first appearance of Carson as Spearhead and the debut of the new Venom emblem. And then up last we have Cowboy Bebop, issue number 1, written by Dan Waters, art by Lamar Mathurin, and all it says is in 2171, the bounty hunter of crew of spaceship Bebop chase an ex-gang member who holds a vest which gives the wearer unlimited luck.
Oh,
sounds nice.
Again, not something I know. Cowboy Bebop. Is there a TV show for that as well? And this is maybe like the second run, like the second volume of this. I'm almost sure there's another Cowboy Bebop run.
It was a TV
Again,
show,
not something I've read before.
Is the TV show still going on, or did they kind of get rid of it?
No, I think there's one season up, and it's been sort of binned after one season.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, there we go. Panels and a half pint. Yeah,
cancelled by Netflix after season 1. Yeah, well, hopefully the comic doesn't do the same thing. But yeah, this is Cowboy Bebop, issue number 1 by Titan Comics. And yeah, that's the killer keys for this week. And as always, you can head over to Not Quite Mint, scan the QR code and it'll take you over. He did announce last week that obviously he won't be doing the comic shop come the end of January, but you can still go on there. I think you can still go on there and buy some comics and stuff. It just he won't be processing pre-orders and everything else like that. So we wish Tom all the best. Like, he's absolutely smashing it. He's going to be part of the show. It's just a shop that he's not doing. But if you are following him on Instagram, he's been doing this drawing challenge, and some of the stuff he's been drawing is just wicked. It's so good. It is so good.
It's been really good actually seeing Tom actually get back into the drawing, because I know it's something that he loves doing and he used to do a lot of. And obviously with everything that he's been doing, like the shop and Fireman, his day job, and just life in general, he's found hard to make time. So I think he committed at the start of the year that he was going to do like a drawing challenge where he do at least one every day. And some of the stuff he's been putting up in his IG has been fantastic. So definitely go and check out Tom on Instagram. He's got his Not Quite Mint page, and he also has his Art of Tom mailing page. So make sure that you go and give him a follow.
And he did say to me, he said he does appreciate every single person. If you're in the community, or if you're in the chat, or you're elsewhere on Facebook or whatever, he appreciates every single one of you that has contributed to making Not Quite Mint such a success. And he really does appreciate you buying comics, if it's 1 or 2 comics, or if you've had a pull list with him and you bought numerous ones, CGCs and everything. He really does appreciate all of you. But the time has come for him to just move on and spend more time with us two misfits. So we look forward to him having back. Hopefully he's not working too late tonight.
Absolutely. And he's staying safe.
And he is staying safe. But we've got some feedback regarding Cowboy Bebop. We've got apparently GP Venom can't beat his vest. No,
can't beat my vest.
Who doesn't love a drunk GP Venom in a vest on a late night stream, eh? And Phil, nice one, son. Thank you for that. Ram V is doing Dylan, Ewan is doing Eddie. Right, okay. That kind of sums it up. So thank you very much. The Poptimist live action show got cancelled. Anime, the main thread. Right, I guess that's Cowboy Bebop. Says it all, really. There we go. Says it all. On to the next one, as they say. Ooh-wee.
Killer Indies for January 19th. So these are the indie picks that I think you should be picking up and reading for next week. Just before I dive in, This is the Art of Tom Mailing Instagram that you might want to go and check out. Give Tom a follow, and you can see all the stuff that he's been posting up. Okay, cool. Let's go. Next.
You've got
Am I
control.
controlling? Are you controlling?
Have you got control? It's your slide.
Okay, cool. All right, boss. First up, we have Silver Coin issue number 8. And this is, as always, the artwork is by Michael Walsh. And on this issue, we have Matthew Rosenberg, the fantastic Matthew Rosenberg, doing the writing. So I think this is like, if I remember rightly, this might be like part 2 of the previous issue, issue number 7, where Ram V was doing it. So the synopsis says, when an executive at 1960s stock brokerage acquires a collection of antiques, the gap between the have and the have-nots becomes painfully clear. The price of the silver coin keeps going up, even as the fortune of its owner plummets. So again, it's going to be more of the same, just with the different spin of the writers. Again, I'm invested in this. It's on my pull list.
100%.
It's one of the things I really, really look forward to. So I'll be picking this up. What about yourself, Charlie?
But I didn't get into Silvercoin until you told me to. It was kind of one that I could see in a place in space, or wherever I was buying a comic, and I'd be like, I'm really, that's not my type of comic. I'm well into it now, honestly. Issue 5 for me is still the best issue. Issue 5 is just wicked.
That was the backstory, wasn't it?
Yeah,
the sort of the coin.
And I just love the fact, again, it's another anthology, and I can see Meat Monkey, or is it? No, it's Monkey Meat, isn't it?
Meat Monkey, yeah. That's a whole different other comic.
Yeah, I can see Meat Monkey going this way. It's quality, and as Sean just said, yeah, it's Silver Coin is a quality read. It's consistently good. It is. For a horror comic, it's enjoyable. I love it. I think, yeah, thanks for introducing me to this, mate. So yeah, I'm done. I'm all the way.
Yeah, 100%. If you haven't picked this up, and I say this all the time, read issue number 5, and then read all the other issues, because I think it actually makes it the individual issues more enjoyable. And I know that the trade has come out for this one as well. So this was actually meant to stop at issue number 5, Charlie. So because it was so successful, they kept it going. So highly recommend that you pick up the Silver Coin next week. Next up, we have Primordial.
I'm shocked.
Number 5.
This is the first cover they've done with no dog.
I know. I'm not entirely sure if I'm too happy with that. I was expecting some sort of other animal to be on the cover. So we'll get Jeff Lemire doing writing and the fantastic Andrea Sorrentino doing the artwork. And in this issue, the spaceship piloted by Leica, Abo, and Baker approaches Earth, but how and where will they land? Luckily, there is a familiar face hoping to help guide them home, which I'm imagining is the character that we see on the cover here. So again, this is on my pull list. It's something that I'm invested in. I really, really enjoy and am enjoying all the stuff that Jeff Lemire has been putting out. And whenever he teams up with Andrea Sorrentino, it's kind of like a match made in heaven. It's like Snyder and Capullo. It kind of has that vibe about it. So that's Primordial issue number 5.
I'm looking forward to
that. Next up, Crimson Cage issue number 2. There was a huge amount of fanfare for issue number 1. This is written by a fellow Glaswegian, John Lees, and the art is by Ashley Cormack. And I know that issue number 1 was really well received. If you're into this sort of, wrestling mixed with kind of a little bit of horror, mixed with sort of Shakespeare, I think this is going to be right up your street. I know that there's a few people in the chat that's probably read this. Charlie, did you read issue number 1?
Issue number 1 for me was wicked. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, I love my wrestling. I know James loves his wrestling as well, and it was just, and Phil as well. It was wicked. Like, it was. I'm into it.
I love the synopsis. It says the blood-drenched pro wrestling retelling of Macbeth continues. World champion Van Emerald is in Louisiana, and Chuck Frenzy is destined to be his successor. But is Chuck really willing to do what is necessary to make the prophecy a reality? Sometimes to be the man, you gotta kill the man. I just think the synopsis is amazing on this. So yeah, I think I'm going to try and pick up issue number 1 and give it a wee read and see where I go. Because I loved wrestling back in the day. I was like Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, all those guys. Not so much now. I don't really watch it, but I know you guys are well into your wrestling. So
Yeah.
I think it'll be one you'll enjoy.
Just before you go on, ABZ said just started an IG account and first follower is Tom. Drop your link in the chat and let's see if we can all get following you by the end of the stream. That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? So drop it in the chat, ABZ, and we'll get following you, son.
100%, yeah.
Here we go. Look, who can resist Shakespearean wrestling and love Crimson Cage? Awesome.
Absolutely. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of fans for this. And obviously John Lees is the person that done Hotel as well, which is another great read that everybody should be picking up. Volume 1 and Volume 2 is just out at the moment. So next up we have Bolero. This was a brand new book that kind of caught my attention. This is another Image comic. Image for me are arguably the best publisher at the minute. Certainly last year for me they were the best, and this year they've really started with a pace. This is Wyatt Kennedy doing the writing, and Luana Vecchio on art. And it's the synopsis for me that really intrigued me for this book. So it says, a woman running away from a broken heart discovers a mother key into parallel universes. Now the rules are, the key can work on any door. The mother will only let you visit 53 universes. Do not ask to speak to the mother. Never hop more than 53 times. That's the synopsis for the book.
I've got to say, I prefer the Poptimist's synopsis. This one about Torvald and Dean.
Exactly.
I'm all for that.
I think this will go under the radar. This book, I don't think the cover's maybe the most alluring cover that will draw you into a story, but that's why you should always read the synopsises on each of these books that come out in previews, because they just draw you in.
Exactly. Yeah. Wow, the Bolero cover is funky. I love the colours.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely want to be. I might not be able to post on it. ABZ, if you email me your link, I'll post it up.
We'll get it in. Good.
Yeah. So have we got another one? Oh yeah. So there was lots and lots of fantastic indies. I didn't want to have a slide for every single one.
I like this new slide, Andy. I like this.
Do you like it? Yeah. So what I want to do is to get as many indie books, because I think there's merits to them. And, I can have my top 3 or top 4, but I don't want people missing out on the good stuff. So for me, in my opinion, Matthew Rosenberg's What's the Furthest Place from Here is another book that you should be picking up. You've got A Righteous Thirst for Vengeance, which is a book that we've reviewed previously. That's still ongoing. 7 Secrets. I've dropped off 7 Secrets, but I know that there's lots of people that are fans of this book. I read maybe the first 6 or 7 issues, and I thought it was fantastic, a great story, and just primed to be picked up for TV or for a movie. And then lastly, but certainly not least, we have Time Before Time. This is going to issue number 9. And this is Declan Shalvey, someone that we're hoping to get on the show at some point, doing this book. And it's been fantastic. It's been on my pull list and something that I'm really enjoying. So I just wanted to put these as sort of notable mentions. But again, if there's any indie books that I've maybe missed or ones that you think are ones that we should be looking at, then again, on our Twitter, on our Instagram, #The Killer Comic Show, and we'll let people know about them next week.
I actually think you've hit the nail on the head with this. I think we should do this every week, because otherwise we're here with 6 or 7 slides going over. This is great. But yeah, as Andy said, if you've got any comics in the chat that you want to add on, we'll put it in. Nice one.
100%.
No, I like this.
Nice.
I like this. I like it.
Yeah, I think that's them all. So I'll let you take over the slides, Charlie, because that was really nerve-wracking.
That's good. That. But literally before we move on, obviously you've got your little perpetual there. Just scan QR code. We all do different stuff on Instagram. We're all doing different stuff. We've got the promo side of the Killer Comic Show, but we've all got our individual ones as well, where we post comics that we pick up and stuff like that. And he's always picking up some funky deals. He's always getting stuff. So make sure you head over there, scan the QR code, and pick up his images and have a look at what he's picking up, mate.
Yeah, that's what I'm most active is on Instagram and on Twitter. I did have a YouTube channel myself, but I don't anymore. I think I've got 4 videos on my YouTube channel, and it just shows you how to submit CGC and how to package them up, and they do quite well. But for me, this is where I'm most active. So if you want to come and give me a follow, please do so. I think I'm up to over 900 followers now, so I really appreciate the support.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like it is good. It's wicked. It is wicked. Well done.
Okay.
So now we go on to the killer trades for January 12th, which is next week. Up first.
Yes, surprise, surprise. This is my pick. This is Essential Judge Dredd versus Death. 116 pages for roughly about $25. This has got various writers on it. So it's got Alan Grant, John Wagner, Pat Mills. You know, anybody that's into Judge Dredd and knows those writing those names, you know, that sells the book itself. We've got artwork by various artists. We've got, I think I'll put Amy Clark. It's Amy Clark. We've got the fantastic Brian Boland and Brian Talbot as well. And this is due in shops on the 18th of January. And this effectively, I'm just reading this, I think this effectively takes it's basically an Essential Judge Dredd graphic novel series, and it looks at the Dredd versus Death books that John Wagner and Brian Boland done. So I'd highly recommend it because it's some of this good stuff you'll read.
I really got into the Judge Dredd when you sent me the comic that you sent. Like, I really got into it. Like, I wasn't a massive fan beforehand, but I got into it. So this might be something that I pick up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. So yeah, what is it? It's only like $25. It's not too bad. So what's that? $25? It's only like £19, isn't it?
Yeah, it's about £18-19. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, look. Dredd versus Death sold. There we go.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to sell it when it's just Dredd versus. Like Judge Dredd is one of my favorite characters. Judge Death is one of my favorite antagonists. So yeah, this is right up my street.
There we go. Look, found Andy as well now, following along. Yeah, I've just followed you as well, sir. So I'm looking forward to seeing your content. That first image that you should put up should be your latest claim. That'd be interesting. Up next, we've got Tom's pick, and this is What If, the original Marvel series Omnibus Volume 2. This is a hardcover. This is a hefty 1,024 pages. Coming in at, to be fair, it's a pretty reasonable $125, to be fair, for 1,000 pages and a hardcover. Not too bad. Various writers, artists by Bob Budansky. That's out next Wednesday. Now, obviously, this
it feels like that's not the final cover. It kind of looks like that's a Photoshop effort, or is it just me?
No, I think like the majority of them, when they are coming out, and you can't find them on League of Comics or Google or something like that, I think they kind of just drop this in as a placeholder. I'm hoping this isn't.
Look at Fuzzy Dunlop's comment. That made me lol.
Judge Judy is a right cow, to be fair. Yeah, imagine they should bring back Celebrity Deathmatch, and they should have Judge Judy versus Judge Rinder. That'd be pretty good, wouldn't it? I'd watch that. I'd definitely watch that. But yeah. Look, I really enjoy everyone's content on Instagram. They're all bad for my to buy list, though. Yeah, we can't be held responsible for anything that we review on this show, that we post our comments on Instagram. We cannot be held for the calls that you get from your bank saying that you've spent all your dark money and you're now spending your personal fund money. So you can all do what you want to do. And there we go. Look, followed ABZ. Everyone's following ABZ. There we go. Look, there's a guy selling stuff from Wagner's personal collection on Facebook. Some great stuff at great prices.
Did you say Wagner? Is that not the guy that was on Wagner? Is that not the guy that was on that singing show?
Well, Pop Stars. What was it? Pop Stars. What's it called?
You just got to keep. You totally done like a triple G there. Pop.
Mark, if you can drop the link in the chat, that'd be great, because that's where I picked up that CGC from one of the chats on Facebook. So if you can drop that. There we go. I've been a bit quiet lately on IG. That will change soon though. There we go. John Wagner. We've got John Wagner, and oh him, as if you know who John Wagner is, mate. Come on. But yeah, this can't be the main cover. If it is, then I won't be picking that up. I probably won't pick it up anyway, but I just have to say that because that's a Photoshop jobby. There we go. Yeah. And this was my Sweet Paprika volume number 1 trade paperback, 160 pages, $16.99. Written by Mirka Andolfo, art by Mirka Andolfo. She's a bit saucy in her writing and her artwork and stuff. And this Sweet Paprika, I've really enjoyed it. I think I've got one more issue to read. She's basically just a successful businesswoman, and it kind of tells of her love and lust and how she kind of wants more from her personal life, and instead she just injects everything into her business and her work, and kind of it's as the synopsis says, it's Bridget Jones' Diary meets Sex in the City with a pinch of The Devil Wears Prada. So if you like your chick flicks, you're gonna love this. And some
I
of
think
the
I only know. I think I only know Andolfo's work from, as it says there, Unnatural. Do you remember the Unnatural one with the barely wearing any clothes piggies?
And she also did the Fantastic Mercy.
Yes,
Which
that's right.
is
yes,
amazing. I've got my eye on a 9.8 on eBay at the moment of the first cover. Yeah.
Is it the Jenny Frisson cover?
No, it's
Check out the Frisson cover for Mercy
Really?
#1. It is, it's stunning.
It's Sweet Paprika is wicked. Like, I think it's nothing special. It's not going to win awards and anything like that, but it is good. It is an enjoyable. And as you say, if you like Bridget Jones, if you like Sex in the City with a pinch of Devil Wears Prada, right up your street.
I love all those things, Charles. I love all those things.
Do you? What do you love?
No.
Do you wear Prada? Do you wear high heel Pradas? Do you?
Prada? Primada?
Primana. You're wearing Primana. But yeah, that brings us kind of to the end, near enough to the end of the show. Now, obviously, we've got a sneak peek for you. We're going to do things a little bit different this week. So obviously, the sneak preview is normally the comics that we're going to be reviewing next week. But no, we've got a little... No. We've got, I say a little treat. It's actually quite a big treat. So guys, just sit back and... So next week, everyone in the chat, we did promise you we was going to start off 2022 with a bang. We have none other than the fantastic Carla Cohen will be joining us on the show next week. I can't wait for this. I'm so excited. It's going to be great. It's going to be wicked.
I'm going to drop the link for Carla's Instagram in the chat as well. If you're not following Carla and IG, I would highly recommend that you do so. And if you do go and follow, just let her know that the Killer Comic Show sent you. Show some love. We cannot wait to have Carla on the show to talk about our work. And this is a great start to 2022. 2021 was fantastic for us, but guys, you've got no idea what 2022 is going to have in store for us. We have got some fantastic guests lined up for the show, so make sure that if you're not subscribed to us, then go do that now. So yeah, Charlie, are you excited?
Oh, yeah.
I know you're excited.
Absolutely.
You've been talking about it for ages.
Absolutely over the moon. French artist living in Italy, absolutely killing it. There was a funny thing on Instagram the other day. She posted one of her upcoming comics and it got taken down straight away. So then she reposted it. And then that got taken down, and she's reposted it again, I think about about a week and a half ago, and it's still up now. But some of the stuff you see on Instagram was far worse than what she put up. So it's Instagram is pick and choosing. But we're going to be talking about that next week on the show, 9 p.m. BST. We then will resume normal shows and everything the week after that, but next week will be focused on the fantastic and amazing Carla Cohen for an hour and a half, maybe longer, depends on how long she wants to and can put up with the three of us. So yeah, that's I'm well excited about that.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing. Yeah, and just like I'm like a I'm eager to tell everybody what else we've got lined up, but I
Mhm.
know that we just need to cross the T's and dot the I's on some of those. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's gonna be a great year, guys, and yeah, go and follow Carla, go and follow on Twitter, and just let her
Mhm.
know that you're from the Killer Comic Show and show some love, and it'll just be. I'm sure we'll all. Well, think of your questions as well, and if there's any
Yeah.
questions that you want us to ask, and prep and stuff like that, then just send them through or post them up on the chat and stuff like that. And just tell everybody, share it all. We're going to be putting up some promo and stuff. Make sure that you share it and get as many people watching the show as possible.
Persuade her to come to Thought Bubble. All I can say is that we've got big things planned. That's all you're going to get from us. We've got big things planned for Thought Bubble and for next year, for this year as well. So, but yeah, it's going to be great. As Andy said, make sure you're in next week. Put your questions in the chat. She's great. Like I've been talking to her literally for the past 3 or 4 weeks constantly, and she's very engaging. She's really looking forward to it. So yeah, it's going to be an absolutely great show. To finish off the show, we've got, you got your own little slide. You put your new slide in. I've done one as well. So who wins cover of this week? Now in third place, you've got me with the Rain #1 Hal Lauren cover. You've got Tom in second place with 25%. I was on 21. And topping the charts, running away with it. He's lapped us all. It is Andy with the Hell Sonia issue #1 with the Rob. I'm just going to call him Rob cover. So yeah, so that's the one that you've done. So you will be getting your little gold
Oh,
stamp.
look at
You'll be getting
this.
the gold stamp, and it will be going there with your cover. And that'll say week
Someone's had a
#2.
quiet day at work. And
I have. I did this. I did this all in 10 minutes. Even
yeah.
even went on Instagram and got some bloody some gold filter and just dropped that in and embossed it as well, so it looks professional. So yeah, you'll have yours up there for week #2, mate. It's been good. It has been good,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's been another fantastic show. The chat has been buzzing as always. It's become it's the regular now. We absolutely love all of you guys in the chat. It's going to be wicked next week having you in here asking the questions to the fantastic Carla Cohen. And yeah, obviously it's we've got Fuzzy Dunlop lined up for a guest slot soon. We've got GP Venom, can't wait for that. I will be wearing my vest. We've got Alan Quay signing at the Killer Comics booth at Thought Bubble. Who knows? And then we've got Gadoosh. I don't know what Gadoosh means, but I like that word, so I'm going to claim that. Gadoosh. Great show, chaps. Cheers, fellas. Sleep tight, bedtime. And on that, it's been a fantastic show. Andy, love you, brother. And as a once wise man by the name of Fuzzy Dunlop once said, Gadoosh. See you next week.
Good day, everybody.
Gadoosh.